Gina Paulus here from Homebodies and Home Fitness Training. Today on the Homebodies Fitness Show, I'm going to show you some moves that you can do right on your own couch to help your body feel better. The first thing you're going to need is some sort of ball. This is a lacrosse ball, but a tennis ball would work. A golf ball could do in a pinch. Anything that's approximately the size of your hand or smaller and that is slightly firm works best. So what we're gonna do is learn a three-way movement with the ball to help loosen up the muscles. So a lot of people have been having trouble getting in with their massage therapist and things like that due to social distancing. So I thought I would show you some things you can do right at home to help your body get a little bit more loose and comfortable when you might have a different schedule than usual and you don't have access to the same services that you might normally have. So you're gonna take your ball, and we're gonna work on the lower legs first. The lower legs are part of the body that gets a little bit tight and overworked. We're on our feet, walking around and doing things, and the lower legs just really can take a beating. So that's usually a good place to start to get used to this move. So I'm gonna have you take your leg and you're gonna cross it up over the other. So you've got, let's start with whichever leg it feels like it is a little bit more tight or sore normally if you have one. And you'll take the ball and you're gonna put that right on your leg, and I want you to place it somewhere between your calf muscle, which is the bulbous muscle that is in the back of your leg, and your shin bone, which is gonna be the firmer part. So you're gonna put that in there, and you're just gonna lightly roll it. I don't want you to put a lot of pressure. And once you find a spot that feels a little bit tender, I want you to stay there. And you're gonna pull the ball left, and you're gonna go right. Figure out which of those two feels like it moves more easily. And again, you're not putting a lot of pressure. You're just putting enough pressure so that the ball stays in its position. All right, so for me, it's gonna be left. So you want to go in the direction and stay in the direction of least resistance, the side that is easier to go to. So do that, the easier side. Now we're gonna go up and down. And again, trying to find where it's less resistance. So for me, it's gonna be down. And there's gonna be one more aspect to this. We're gonna rotate the ball one way and the other, right on its axis, right over the widest point in the ball. And you're just spinning that, and you're gonna feel the easier direction of that. And that's your third one, and you're gonna hold there. So once you've found all three, and we're accumulating, so we're going from the first one, holding that, adding the second one, holding that, and adding the third one. Now we're just gonna hold it for between 5 and 10 seconds, and then you're gonna release. Now, if you go back to that spot that you were just on, and just test it out, you'll probably find that it feels softer, it feels like it moves better, which is great. That's the result that we were after. Let's try a different spot. I'm gonna go a little bit lower on my leg. I'm gonna try again, left and right. And I'm gonna say left is easier. I'm holding the tension there. Now I'm going to move the ball up and down. And I'm finding down is less, and now I'm gonna spin. I'm finding that counterclockwise is less resistance, so I'm gonna hold that for about 5 to 10 seconds. And release that. So after doing that, what you can do is you can test out your foot range of motion. You can flex your foot, point it forward, move it in and move it out, and you can just see if that feels better. You can even get up and take a little quick walk around your room and see how that feels. So to give you an example of doing it on the upper body, what we could do is, usually the elbow can get a little bit tender from all of our work that we do with our hands. So again, I'm gonna put the ball on there, and I'm gonna go left and right. You'll probably find your arm is looser and more flexible than your lower leg because the arms don't usually do as much work as the legs. But I'm gonna go left is looser, then I'm gonna go up and down, and up is looser for me, then I'm gonna twist. And I'm finding that clockwise is the least resistance there. And then holding for the 5 to 10 seconds. All right, so that's three-way twist with the ball. What that does is that works on your body's fascia. So the fascia is what covers your muscles. If you think about a package of chicken at the grocery store, sometimes it has a little coating on it. That is a form of fascia, and that's obviously for chicken, but our human muscles are similar to that. And what that is doing is it's encasing your muscles in this membrane. And between overuse, injuries, things like that, your fascia can become what we call restricted. And there is some ability for this fascia to change and adapt. And in fact, you'll notice something like this where if you get up in the morning, you might be a little bit stiffer, things might feel a little creaky, but then as you get going, as you move throughout your day, you might find that you're feeling more limber and more mobile. So that's just an example of how fascia is adaptable and it can change. So by doing something like this, we're giving the body a stimulus to tell it, hey, it's okay, you can relax. And once that fascia relaxes, your muscles are going to be better able to move in the way that suits them best, and you won't have as many restrictions. So the ball can be a powerful way to help guide that, and what's nice about it too is it's really gentle. Sometimes when people go and get a massage, massages are wonderful, don't get me wrong, I love getting a great massage, but there are people who get certain types of massages that find that it actually makes their pain or their injury feel worse. And I think part of that can be the massage therapist has you for that hour. They really want to go in there and they want to give you the treatment that you're there for, which is amazing. Again, I love getting a massage. And if you get one from a good massage therapist, really you should not have a problem. But I have heard some horror stories, and what ends up happening for some folks is that massage therapist, in their attempt to help them feel better, they go a little bit too much too soon. And then it's just a lot at once, and then you go back home and you don't have that massage again the next day. So something like the ball, you can actually utilize this and do this a little bit each day. So rather than spending, 30 minutes or an hour on one area, that's too much for one day. So I mean, when you go get a massage, you're gonna find that they'll move around and do more parts of your body usually than just one. But this is just an example of how a little bit each day can be really powerful, and it's something that you can do right on your own at home as well. And I have had massage therapists tell me, hey, to help your results in between treatments, you can do some of this work at home, and that will help keep you going so that you don't go backwards, by the time you come back again. So it's a nice thing to know about. So as far as helping our body loosen up and relax, it's really helpful to start with that release. So the ball was the release work. You could do that for any part of your body that you feel needs a little bit of TLC. From there, once we're released, we can move into stretching. So I wanted to show you guys some stretches that you can do right on your couch while you're watching TV or hanging out with your family. So the first one we're gonna do is a great one for posture. So you can sit up nice and straight, have some pillows behind your back if your couch is super big. We're gonna put one arm back behind you. Now I've got my palm facing down and I'm reaching back. So this might look like this for you. It might even be hard for you to get all the way back there. You might be here. If you're super, super flexible, you could be way back there. But whatever it is, you're gonna do one arm and we're gonna hold that for about 30 seconds. And as you're doing this, you're gonna make sure you're sitting up tall. You're not slumping, you're sitting up tall, and you're keeping your chin level. Sometimes people, when they're at a stretch, they will start going up there to give themselves some more room. You don't want to do that while you're stretching one area. You don't want to excessively move other parts of your body just to accomplish that stretch, because that's a sign that you're going a little bit too far. All right, so now we're going to try the other arm. And you can notice if there's a difference between arms. If you do notice that one arm is significantly more flexible than the other, what you can do is spend a little bit more time on that side. Rather than holding that tighter side longer, it's better to do multiple sets. So say I did my left arm twice and that wasn't so bad, but my right arm was really tight, then I might want to do my right arm for 4 sets. But you do get better results generally when you do more sets rather than just one super giant set for a longer length of time. All right, so that's the one arm at a time. That's the beginner version. If you're ready for intermediate, you can do both arms. So put them both back there, and then you can sit up nice and tall. Make sure that you're taking deep breaths during these stretches too. It's tempting to hold your breath when you're a little bit under distress, doing something that your body isn't used to doing. But I can promise you that if you just keep your breath going, you're gonna get a lot more out of it and the stretch will feel a lot better. So that one can be held for about 30 seconds as well. All right, so the next one that we'll do is a tricep stretch. So you can lift one arm straight up in the air and then you're gonna bend it at the elbow. Now I want you to reach back and you're gonna grab the elbow with the other hand and you're gonna pull it straight back. This is another one where you wanna make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall. If you're not able to get your elbow near your head, no worries, just get as close as you can. It will still work for you. If you're out here, it'll still work, but if you can, you do want to come in as close as possible. Another side. So anytime you've been spending extra time using your phone or in front of the computer or driving or anything where you're sort of in a seated, kind of hunched forward position, that really does put a strain on the upper body. So it's nice to be able to loosen up some of those areas. All right. And now we're gonna do a cross body. So you can take your arm up and you're gonna go right across. And have you reach underneath your arm. You can hold near your elbow. Now there are two ways to do this one too. So I'm showing you right now the straight armed version. If you're not really able to get your arm all the way across, what you can do instead is you can bend your elbow and you can pull it across that way. So either one of those. It is good to have your palm facing your body. So I'd rather not have your hand here. I'd like it facing you. So you can turn and look at your palm if you want to. Good. And we'll do other side. The other thing that can happen is people like to hunch up and twist to the side. So just be mindful that both of your glutes are contacting the couch square and that you're firm left and right. You're not leaning to one side there. And if you've got your thumb free from your fingers, you do want that pointing straight up. So that can be a way to test if your hand is tilted too much. If your thumb is pointing at you and not at the ceiling, then you want to adjust your hand position and your arm position. All right, so we'll do some for the legs next. What you can do is grab a pillow and you're gonna put that pillow right on the floor. So now we're kneeling. Hand on the knee. So what I'm doing here is I'm working getting my glute and my heel closer together. And actually, I'll show you guys from the side as well. So you can, my foot is right near my glutes. I'm squeezing my glute on the left side. And the other thing you can be mindful about is your hips. So what you want to do is put one hand on each hip, and you want to try to feel is one hiked way up further than the other one. And what you can do there is just press the higher one down if you do find that. Now this stretch can feel easy if you let your back arch. So make sure that you pull your abs in. And we'll switch. Don't be surprised if one of them is significantly tighter than the other one. Quite often for right-handed people, the right one's gonna be tighter. It has to do with dominance. That's fine. You just continue to work both, but you can do extra on the one that is tighter just to help it catch up a bit as well. So once you've got your hips all situated, you can go ahead and put your hands on your front knee. This is another fabulous one for helping with tightness from a little bit of extra sitting or even a lot of walking. I know a lot of people haven't been going to the gym because it's closed, which, you know, is sad for sure. It also gives us an opportunity to do some different things that we might not always make the time to do. So a lot of people have been walking more, and walking is a great exercise. It's really good for you. You get to be outside. It does, however, tighten up your hips a bit, so it's good to just take the opportunity to stretch those out. Running, same thing. I mean, again, it's a great cardio, but it definitely puts your body through a little bit of stress, which is fine. We just want to help the body to recover after putting it under stress like that. All right, so we'll come on out of that one. And then next we can move to a piriformis stretch. So I'm just sitting on a little ottoman here. You can stay up on your couch if you would like. It's a little bit harder the lower the surface is. So the lower you can be, you're gonna get a little bit of a better stretch here. So I've got my ankle up over my knee and I'm pressing down lightly with my hand. You don't wanna crank super hard because you're just gonna put strain on your knee. So light pressure and then you can sit up nice and straight. If you're not feeling much of a stretch here, you can lean forward a little bit from your waist, but you don't wanna do that if you're unable to sit up straight. So if you look like this, don't worry about leaning forward. Just work on sitting up nice and straight. And again, the higher the surface, the easier. So you could, if you needed to make it even higher than the couch, you could always put some pillows and sit on top of the pillows on the couch. And that's gonna give you more range of motion so that you can perform the stretch a little bit more easily. Let's try the other side. The other thing that's important to keep in mind is you want your ankle directly under your knee. You don't want the foot way out in front. So take a look and see, is my heel and ankle underneath my knee or is it in front? And having that directly underneath your knee will give you the best stretch. If you're working on your posture, you can lightly press down on that knee if it's going to give you a little bit more range of motion. If it feels like it's stuck and it's not gonna go anywhere, then leave it. You don't need to press. Work in the deep breaths. All right, so that was your piriformis. Now we're going to finish up with a neck stretch. So what you can do is you can place your hand underneath your upper thigh. You're gonna reach your other hand up and over. So your middle finger is just above your ear, okay? Now you're gonna press into your hand with your head. We're gonna hold this for about 30 seconds. What that's doing is it's activating the neck muscles, and by activating them, they will be more receptive to being stretched. So we're pushing our head into our hand, meeting with resistance. And then after about approximately 30 seconds, you can relax the pressure of your head and allow your hand to very lightly pull your neck to the side. It's important that you don't let your face push forward or pitch backward. You want it to stay centered and neutral in the middle. And if you're not sure if it's neutral, packing your chin back a bit can help. Think about making a double chin. What would it take to make a double chin? You want to do that, and that is usually all it takes to get your head in the correct alignment for this particular stretch. All right, release that and see how that feels. Does that side feel a little bit looser? Let's try the other side. Sitting on that hand, pushing into your hand with your head, and again, you're holding right above your ear with your middle finger directly above your ear, so you're pushing into that head. If you have trouble too resisting with your own hand, you could always get a friend or family member to help you out. It doesn't take much pressure, but some people have trouble getting their arm over their head, so you can feel free to solicit the help of a friend if you need some help with providing that pressure. All right, so I'm done with my pushing. Now I'm gonna relax the push of my neck muscles and allow my head to be pulled to the side. I'm checking if my alignment's good. Your gaze should be straight forward. And we're not causing any sharp pains. If you feel a sharp pain, back off. Stretching is about helping your body to feel better, and you don't want to make anything feel more painful when you do it. All right, and you can release that one. And you can do a couple neck circles. Nice and gentle, just checking the range of motion. All right, so by incorporating a few moves like this into your routine, what you can do is you can take TV time and turn that into exercise time. So one of the ways to do that, obviously, would be following my Homebodies Fitness show on this channel, and that's great. But if you're watching something else that one of your family members wants to watch or whatever, then what you can do is just take a piece of paper, write down what I showed you for the exercises, and you can incorporate them when you're watching TV. The other thing that's really good about doing some movement when you're watching TV is it's gonna keep your hands busy. So instead of reaching for some snacks that you really might not need at that point in the day, then instead you can keep yourself busy with a little bit of light exercise, and you'll keep your body happy and your mind happy all while you watch television. So it's pretty good deal. So I hope this helped. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.